Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I am Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I am official Mike Norfield, Visiting Angels Lynchburg, co-host of Talk Local to Me.
I know. I'm so excited. You're official now.
I know.
You're not alleged anymore.
I know. It is apparently the incubation period is a year.
Okay. We just want to make sure you're going to stick around.
Right.
And that we like you and we didn't get too many complaints or anything like that.
Now the complaints will come in.
Yeah, right. Then we'll have to redo the logo again.
I know, right?
And Woody will take another year. It'll be fine.
It's all right.
But anyway, no, it's really cool. I love it. We have like little animated logo.
I know, right?
And
I still have the same color shirt though. So
I look pretty decent animated. I like it. Thanks for that, Woody. He's back there in his office.
Just chuckling to himself.
Producer things back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so welcome. We have a couple things we're going to be talking about today and a couple guests we're going to be chatting with. And, as normal, I will just kind of update you guys. I really want to stress that our Empower event happening on May 30th is going to be amazing. We had a meeting yesterday with all of our speakers. So we have 7 speakers.
Nice.
And a panel, like a women's panel, with 3 additional speakers,
right.
Or I say speaker, but panelists that are going to be talking about different things. So I'm really excited when you get a room of really, bright people with big ideas and
a lot of motivation.
And just a lot of excitement for the event itself. We have some amazing topics, and the way they kind of all flow together too is really encouraging. And just listening to them all talk to each other yesterday, and because some of them were just meeting for the first time, but kind of listening to them talk about what they're going to be speaking on and what some of their workshops are going to be. It's really just going to be such a dynamic event. I cannot just stress how important it is. If you've been kind of on the fence, like, should I get a ticket or not? Do it. Pull the trigger, get the ticket, because it's going to be really great.
Right.
And honestly, for $100, the speakers alone are worth it.
Right.
Quite honestly. And our keynote that's coming in. But then also, that includes your breakfast. So, Sweet Indulgence Bakery is doing the breakfast. So
their stuff is so good.
If you've been thinking about I want to try their pastries, or I've been wanting to try something that Ashley does, this is a good opportunity because you get to come out and have breakfast. And then it also includes lunch. We're going to be working with Repest Catering. They're doing our box lunches, but they're also doing these really cute. So like midday, about 10, when people may be getting hangry because you didn't eat breakfast,
right.
Or you did eat breakfast, but you're just hungry, but it's not lunchtime yet. You just need something. She's doing little cute charcuterie cups for all the attendees. And so it's, include your breakfast. It includes your lunch. It includes some snacks. It includes some really cool, just little swag giveaways you'll get from different people. Then we also have a separate room that is going to be like a vendor showcase for women.
Yeah.
So we have ladies there that sell jewelry and soaps and Tupperware and Pampered Chef.
All sorts of cool things.
All the cool things that you need. You can come and shop with them before the event starts or during lunch or after the event ends. So,
are there vendor spaces still open?
There are some vendor spaces still open. So it's $20 if you would like a space.
That's
you do have to provide your own table.
Right.
But the cool thing is people are going to be able to come and go throughout the day. Now, I will stress, if you call me and say, yes, I would like a vendor table or, vendor space, just note that you still have to purchase your ticket to the event. So if you want to just come and set up a table and sit in a room all day hanging out, that's cool too. You can do the $20. But if you want to actually participate in the event as well, it is a separate ticket cost for the event. So, you're going to want to come in and listen to the speakers and all the good things. So you definitely want to look into doing that. So let me know if you're interested in that. But I'm super excited for it. It's only a few weeks away. So you're going to want to get those tickets in as quickly as possible. So I think we have over 100 tickets sold already, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
But yeah, don't miss out. Don't wait until everyone's posting about the awesome event and how much they learned and how great it was. And then you're sitting there sad because you didn't come. And then guess what? You got to wait another whole year for it to come back. So get your stuff as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Other than that, we got some ribbon cuttings going on. We're doing 3 coffee talks now. So those are coming up. We've got one in Roanoke, one in Appomattox, and one in Bedford.
Truly covering Central Virginia.
Truly covering Central Virginia, truly working with our small businesses. And leading into that, I'll just mention our small business blitz is still going on.
Yep.
So you can join if you've been also sitting here going, should I be a member of the Central Virginia Business Coalition? The answer to that is yes, 100%. 100%. 120%.
Especially at a discount.
But now you can do it at a discount. You can kind of jump in, get your feet wet, see how it works. I think that's a lot of times people are hesitant to join organizations because they don't know if they'll get any return on investment or whether it's worth it. And so, well, of course, I'm going to tell you it's worth it. Again, it's one of those things you got to come find out for yourself.
Right.
So we're doing a small business split. So between now and May 15th, you can join for half price. Now, it's only good through the end of the year. So you're only getting about an 8-month membership.
Right. Well, what a deal, though. You're getting it half off for over half the year.
That's correct.
You get 2 months free, basically.
So, yeah. So, I mean, $100. Woody, you got some more businesses to join? Like, we're going to get Woody on.
Woody's excited because here there was a flash sale. And then once I explained what that was, he wasn't excited.
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah, so it's a great opportunity. I will say what's today, May 8th. I think we've already had.
Got a week left.
When we've had 15 businesses take advantage of it already.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. Really excited about that. And so make sure you do that. You can go to cvabc.org. You can click on the join button and you can join there. You're going to want to use the promo code Business Blitz all together. No space in between. Just Business Blitz. And that's going to give you that discount that you can sign up with and take advantage of that membership. So do it like right now, right this second. I'm going to check my email. I want to see who did.
Ding.
Yep.
Hope there's somebody.
Perfect. So we have with us today Jonathan Mullins with Central Virginia Financial Services. And we're going to be chatting with him a little bit. He's been on before talking about Medicare, but that's not going to be our focus today. However, if you have Medicare needs, of course, he would love to help you with that. But we're going to be chatting about some new things that he now offers. With
some important things.
Yeah, and very important things. So welcome.
Thanks, Heather. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
And I can give a commercial for the CVABC.
Oh, I love it.
It is actually one of the best things I've ever done since opening my business.
Yes.
So I'm very happy with that. Very happy being able to do this and all the things that you guys offer so that I can promote my business. It's awesome.
So would you say we're the best thing since sliced bread?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. No, thank you. And we just hosted a ribbon cutting for Jonathan. So tell everyone, how long have you been in business now?
15 years.
15 years, folks. Like, that is awesome. In this day and age, that's what you want to hear because we always hear small businesses open their doors and sometimes they close them just as quickly because they're not getting the support or there's needs that they have. And so hanging in there 15 years is amazing, a true testament to the service that you give and, people that are utilizing you for their needs and, obviously they're coming back and you're staying strong. So love it.
We've been really blessed. We have a lot of great customers that will, pass on my name and everything. And actually, you're right. We give great customer service, and that's why they come back all the time.
Yep.
And that's the one thing, especially, with the Medicare. Medicare has been the number one product for Central Virginia Financial Services for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We do, like basically people say life and health. Nobody really knows what that means, but it's life insurance, health insurance, all of that, pretty mixed up into one. And as you know, we just recently expanded to property and casualty, which includes, anything from homeowners insurance, car insurance, and all those list of products that they have.
Right.
So we're expanding and trying to serve more people and really looking forward to, getting out there and growing.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that CVABC and will give us that opportunity. And I think you guys are doing great so far. I'm very pleased.
Well, I think too, and I know we're not harping on the Medicare today, but I'm going to just say one more thing about it, and then we're going to switch over to the renters insurance and the other things that we're going to be chatting about. But I think if you're out there and you are close to that age where you're going to need to, you're going to get on Medicare and, was it 60, 65?
Yeah, Medicare actually, if you're turning 65 or if you continued working after 65 and you decided to retire later, I can help you. If you were disabled and received your 2 years and then became into Medicare, I can help you as well. And we know that there's a lot of people out there that become pretty much orphaned with
Hmm.
agents will come and sell you something and then disappear, or they'll leave the
Right.
industry. And so, I mean, if you'd rather have someone that will come to your house rather than someone that will just talk to you on the phone, or someone who, some of those other ways that they do it. I'm old fashioned. I like to be across the kitchen table from somebody,
Hmm.
talking to them and experiencing what they're experiencing and
Right.
talking to them about it. And that's pretty much Medicare is something, and of course our tagline for that is we put the care back in Medicare, and that's just something that it is dear to my heart. But we did want to expand. I think it'll always be my core
Right.
product, but everything else is. Um, we're just really excited about expanding.
Well, being somebody that I used to do insurance billing. Yes, people have done a lot of things in my life, but insurance billing, it's important for someone, I think, to work with someone like yourself so that you learn the ins and outs of what your insurance actually
Yeah.
covers and does. And I'm sure Mike can really say something with that when it comes to, because you work with, the
We work with
elderly
long-term
and
care insurance and things
yeah,
like that.
and
So,
things
yeah.
like that. And I think there's so many people that just go, "Oh, I've got Medicare. I've turned this," and but they have no clue like what that means or what that covers, or and maybe not even them, but their family. Because I think as a family, like sometimes I'll have to do things. My dad will be like, "I don't know if this is gonna cover it," and I'm like, "Well, let me go, look into it and check." But it's very important whether it's Medicare or heck, even your own private health insurance. If you're
Right.
still, utilizing Blue Cross Blue Shield or something to that effect, knowing what your actual benefits are. And knowing how to read your explanation of benefits when you get them back is important. A
Yep.
lot of people do not know how to read those.
Yep.
And they don't realize, if the insurance company doesn't allow something, you are not required to pay. Like, they have to take that part off. And I've gone, we just recently my husband had surgery and they wanted him to pay up front. They were like, "Here, we'll give you 10% if you pay up front." And I was like, "Well, that sounds great, but don't you dare pay it." And he was like, "Why?" And I said, "Because you're going to wait and see what the actual insurance company allows. Because if you pay it and you overpay, they're technically supposed to give you a refund.
But that can take
forever if it even happens.
60 to 90 business years.
Because honestly, if you don't know any better,
Right.
I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of people that leave money on the table that they don't need to. And
Right.
so again, I get on my soapbox a lot with things like
Right.
this, but I just know. I know what I know, and that's what I want people to know. So anyway,
Well, the other thing too is that one of the things that I stress is that people will keep one policy for 4 or 5 years, and that's just not good, because the Medicare, especially if it's a Medicare Advantage policy, that will change from one year to the next, most likely.
Right.
And I've met people that, I mean, each year they add more additional, items to the. Like years ago, they didn't pay you a little bit for groceries, and they didn't pay you for, vision and dental and all that. Which now depending on what you choose, and you can get that. So if you're out there and you're like, I've had my policy for, 5 years, you really could be missing on something that would really benefit you at this point. And I mean, nobody, people that I've spoken to don't like change, but I mean, change is good if it benefits you. And you just have to have somebody that you trust, and I can be that person.
yeah, and I think that's important for people to know and to look into, not just doing it on their own.
Right.
But we're going to chat a little bit more today about renter's insurance. And that's something else I think people need to realize they need to have that many people don't.
Renter's insurance is something that I've talked to a lot of different people, and they think that renter's insurance is just, oh, I don't have that much stuff, so I don't need to worry about it. But that's just one part of this renter's insurance situation. If you are burning a candle in your apartment and something happens, and even if it just creates a lot of smoke and whatnot, or the fire department has to come and put out, even if it's a little fire. If it causes damage to the apartment, you have to pay for it. That's not up to the
Right.
that's not up to
You can be held liable for that.
the company that rents that to you, or the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if it goes down and does something to the person's apartment underneath you or beside you, you're on the hook for all of that.
Right.
So I mean, if you're 20, 25, 30, whatever, and you're renting an apartment, and you don't have renter's insurance, you're opening yourself wide open to, all different kinds of lawsuits and financial issues going down the road.
I
And
think most people probably think their landlord covers them, and they don't realize that
Yeah.
they don't. I'm not gonna lie. I probably did when I was younger. I just
Yeah,
thought,
I just
oh,
always
this would
thought,
cover me.
yeah, that's their responsibility. But no, it's going to be on the responsibility of the tenant.
yeah,
And especially with the properties around, I didn't even think about that. If a fire spreads and damages their property, you're liable for their property as well.
exactly. And then see, that's something that a lot of people don't realize, because I mean, you think, well, if it's a little fire, but the when the firemen come in to put out that fire and they're using water, they're not going to try and trickle a little water on it. They're going to
Right.
try and take it out. And if it seeps in under the ground, under the floor, and it could be a real problem.
Yeah.
And what other people don't realize, with property and casualty, and that's the term we're talking about right now, what happens is that when they, let's say I know, just to be honest with you, I have a renter in my basement apartment. If she does something to, mess up the house, she has a grease fire or something like that, um, my insurance will pay for it. But then, as her landlord, but then my insurance will go after her or her insurance. So if she doesn't
Mhm.
have insurance and she doesn't have renter's insurance, they're going to go after her.
Mm.
And I mean, and if you're 30 years old and you've got a decent job, you could really make yourself really poor for the rest of your life trying to pay off all
Right.
this money. Because if anybody knows how much construction is these days,
Right.
it's
Mhm.
incredibly expensive.
Or how long it takes to get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's another thing too. I mean, apart from that, if something does happen, if I cause something to happen, let's say you're in an apartment and the water heater blows or something, and that's not your
Right.
problem or your
Yeah.
concern. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Renter's insurance will actually help you with money for a place to stay while that's being fixed.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's all different kinds of coverages and whatnot with that. And I will tell you, and what, Heather, how much do you think this would cost somebody?
Well, so that was actually getting ready to be my next
That was my next question. You stole my question.
Yeah, right. That was going to be. I was going to ask you how expensive it is. I don't know. An additional. You're talking about monthly.
Yes.
40.
$10 to $20.
Okay.
$10 to $20 a month, and that actually will includes $300,000 of liability insurance, which means that if you do damage to somebody else's apartment or somebody else's place, it's usually about $300,000. Now you can get it really low. I don't recommend doing that, simply because you're undercutting yourself.
Right.
If you take it out for 50 or 100,000, I mean, you can do $100,000 worth of damage really easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, $300,000, take care of all of that, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. And I just think that people that are right now, if you're listening and you're in a rental apartment or you're in a rental place and don't have rentals insurance, you're really rolling the dice. You are really rolling the dice for not being able to take care of things. And I think that's why I'm doing this, and kind of really animated about it, because it's just so important.
Let me ask you this. Now, let's say you are a landlord. Like, say I'm renting an apartment out to somebody. Do many landlords now, or can they require someone to have renter's insurance to be on the property? Or is that something like if you're listening in and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I have somebody that's renting from me. Can they go in and say, hey, we need to make sure this is being done?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can put it in your lease to say, you have to have renter's insurance, simply because if you do something and my insurance company pays for it, but they find out that it was your fault, then what happens is they go after your insurance company, and it doesn't create a situation where my home insurance goes up.
Right.
And because it would, I mean, every claim you commit, I mean, your insurance is going up.
Yeah, and we've talked to people in the past couple months about how even right now home insurance claims they're dropping people for major claims and things right now too. So that also helps you not even potentially you lose your home insurance and having to go out and find something else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at what's going on the entire country right now, and if you watch the news, the floods and everything that's happening, and these are with the major companies. And myself, actually, what's good is that I have, as a broker, I mean, I have several companies that I represent, but the renter's insurance is something that, I mean, I would just really recommend that you get. I mean, even if, like I said, it's between $10 and $20 most of the time,
Hmm.
um, and it covers you like for anything that you really have going on in your home.
And I know another thing. So you talked about. I just was reading. You gave me a really nice little flyer about renters insurance, and I was just reading this. And so I know you talked about how the coverage could help if you cause damage to another person's apartment or where they live. But I also see on here where it helps if someone gets injured at your house. So like if there's an injury, it'll help cover that, so they can't come back on you. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. So let's say you have a paint party,
Okay.
and you invite a bunch of friends over for a paint party, and you have somebody up on a ladder,
Mm-hmm.
and they trip and fall and break their leg, break their hip, or worse. Yeah, that liability, that 300,000 liability, will help with that. And it's just so comforting because I mean, first of all, it's your friend.
Yeah.
If it's your friend, they're helping you paint, and they do hurt themselves. You don't want them to have to take up all the cost of taking care of that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're renting a house, like I say, and it's wintertime or it's fall and you don't rake the leaves, or you didn't get the snow up soon enough. There's all different types of scenarios that will help you. And really, the only we talk about insurance, and a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth for insurance, but really what it does is it transfers the risk of loss. So, I mean, could you afford to pay for somebody's hospital bill of $30,000 to $40,000 without insurance? I know I couldn't.
I could not.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really what this is all about. And I mean, and if you could do it for $20 a month, I mean, I don't understand why anybody wouldn't do it. I mean, you spend more money on Starbucks coffee than they do, keeping themselves safe. And if you could be an ongoing lien on your property or on you, period, so that later on in life or whatnot, if you have a really good job or you decide to buy a house, they can come after you for that money.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's a lot of times you don't think about it until you need it. It's
Right.
one of those things that
Yeah.
or you think, oh, it'll never happen to me. I don't need to worry about it. But some of the things you brought up today, like Mike and I said, like I hadn't even thought about the potential for damage to somebody else
Right.
or the injury piece to it. I was thinking more along the lines of, okay, it covers my space
That
and
covers my couch and my TV and
right. That was like I was thinking more about the things inside my home
right.
versus
The
really
actual
the house
right.
itself or
Or your neighbors.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. So that's really kind of eye-opening in a way because
It
I
is.
hadn't thought about it.
And especially for, like you said, it ranges $10 to $20. So you're not talking a huge expense every month.
No, everybody can afford it. I mean, really, you can. If you I mean, $10 to $20 a month, and that includes, like I said, up to $300,000 for liability. It's so super cheap, and it's just something that I really believe that if you really think about it, I mean, why would you not do it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I have a weird question. It's not really weird, but I just kind of was thinking about this. So one of the two of you may be able to answer this. I'm sure Jonathan can answer, and I don't know about Mike.
I can answer it. The answer might not be right, but I can answer.
So, we're talking about people that move into like an apartment. What about assisted living facilities where they're
I was actually
living
going to
on
ask
their
that.
own? Does the facility actually cover that because they're paying a rent? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people pay rent to be in an assisted living, like they're paying a monthly some. You know what I'm
So I
saying?
think that's
How does that work?
so my understanding is that it is. So if we have a couple large facilities here, and I know that there was a pipe that burst and there was water damage, things like that. And they had to renovate a lot of the rooms, so they had to move the residents temporarily into a different apartment while they fixed that one. So my understanding is that the way that the facility is structured, the facility covers that.
Okay.
The resident doesn't, either they don't have to pay to have renter's insurance, or it's part of their rent agreement, for services, things like that, because they're actually a service provider, not just a tenant.
Well, that's kind of what I was
Or
wondering.
not
'Cause
just
I
a
didn't know.
landlord.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, I never thought about that. But the situation with that would be, like you said, a pipe burst.
Right,
I mean, that's actually part of the facility.
right,
So the facility should pay for that.
right.
Mhm.
But if someone's got a candle on or they turn
Yeah,
on,
that's what I was kind of
and
thinking.
Yeah, I don't think they let them have candles in
well, even if
assisted living,
let's say they
so
turn on the tub, and
they overflow
it
it.
overflows, or they do something. But I don't know what arrangement, assisted living
Mhm.
would have with that kind of
Yeah,
a thing.
but that's a
That's a
good
good
question.
question,
Yeah,
actually.
I was kind of thinking along that line because you have a lot of people that go into assisted living whether they're having like dementia or they're elderly and just can't be at home. But they do have that. Maybe they did turn on
Or even an independent living where
they have a
it's
stove and they're cooking.
right. It's an independent living and they have their own thing, but they're part of a community. It's not just an
Right.
apartment building, if that makes sense.
That's kind of what I was going
So,
towards.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's really a good question. I mean, someone has to take the liability.
right,
So I don't know if it's something that when you go in, because assuming with these types of things, you basically sign more than just a lease. I mean, you sign
Hmm.
almost
Hmm.
like a contract
right.
and that type of thing. So yeah, that's a good question and probably something I should look into and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
ask around. Or if there's anybody listening and you want to give me a call and you can give me your advice, that would be great.
yeah,
So,
because that'd be another kind of if you find out that yes, that would be a good idea for them to have. That's another kind of whole potential opening
Client
for
base,
you to
yeah.
go. Yeah, client base. That's the word I
yeah,
was looking for.
yeah,
Client base.
yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So if somebody wanted to get renter's insurance, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
They can just give me a phone call. My phone number is 434-229-8887. And my name's Jonathan Mullins. And what I would do is we could set up a time that I could either meet you when you're home or you could meet me in my office. And there's really not a whole lot of information that I need other than your name and your address, and the information that you would like to cover, how much you want to cover.
Right.
Um, and it's just to me, it's if you're a renter and you don't have that insurance, you are really rolling the dice.
Right.
And I've spoken to a
Because
lot of people.
it's not just yourself you have to worry about, but it's the same thing we've been talking about neighbors. But what if your neighbor does something and sets fire to something, or forgets and leaves the stove on and leaves something on the stove when they go to work and it catches fire? Your things are also at risk, and making sure that you can get reparations for that is important.
Yeah, it could be a little. I mean, if you're in an apartment complex and you're the victim rather than the person that actually,
Yeah.
let's set the fire or the flood or whatever, your insurance company, the renter's insurance company, should give you a place to live while they're settling out, and then your company will actually come back on the person and that actually
Right.
caused the accident
Right.
and say, hey, we want you to pay us back.
Right.
And that's pretty common. But I mean, any insurance when you're talking about that, and I mean, if you looked at what we have here in Lynchburg lately, and even some of the other new buildings, they are so closely compacted. I just don't know how you can just limit it to one unit.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you get put a little water, you get a little, like I said, even if it's just smoke damage, you're looking at something like taking care of that.
And it also depends on how old the building is too, because I know current fire code, and don't ask how I know this, but current fire code, you have to have firewall, it's special walls in between apartments to prevent fire from spreading from one to the other. But I say fairly new, like 20 years ago, they said that, but we've got buildings in Lynchburg that have been around, 30, 40, 50 years. And if the code wasn't that way then, they're not required to go retrofit it. So you could, an older apartment building could catch fire and it could spread a lot more quickly than a new one. So, even more so, the reason to have the renter's insurance.
Yeah, I mean, even the older houses that are downtown that people are renting.
Right.
I mean, most of them are all wood,
Hmm.
old wood for that matter.
Yeah.
And
Seasoned
it's
wood,
yeah.
ready to burn.
So I mean, it's just one of those things, and I mean, you said, well, I really can't afford it. I mean, well, you can't afford not to,
Right.
kind of a thing. It's like, I just, I can't stress it enough. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, I was looking around to see, what did I want to bring to the table today? And this just kind of popped out at me, that because I really care about people. I really care about their financial future. I care
Right.
about, how they can take care of themselves. And, this is the least amount of money for the greatest amount of,
Yeah.
you know, what do
Benefit.
you want to benefit? Thank you. To get, to help you to, transfer that risk so you're not worrying about it in the future. So you're not taking care of, you know, someone else's issue, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just something that I feel very strongly about. And like I said, I get really animated, and you can tell by the way, I'm talking and whatnot, that it's, something that I really believe in and that people really just need to really take seriously
Yeah.
because people, I mean, if you do it when you're younger and you turn it into a situation where you're at fault, I mean, it could follow you for the rest of your
Yeah.
life.
It's definitely one of those things that if you get the insurance, you'll never regret it.
Right.
Right. You're not going to be like, man, I wish I had that $10 or $20 a month back. Like, that's not a whole lot in the long run. But if you ever need it and don't have it, you're going to wish you had spent that $10 to $20 every month.
Something that's a little bit that people don't want to think about, but I mean, let's say you start a fire and somebody passes away in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
I
You're
mean,
held liable.
you're liable for that. You're gonna get sued for that.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, when I recommend it to people, I say, look, 300,000, and I've had people really really balk at that and say, why do I have to have so much? And I'm like, well, think about it. You know, if you cause something and it causes somebody to, have a really, bad medical situation, or, there's so many different things that can happen. And, you're really at 300,000, that's a good bit of money to help, that you can actually take care of
Yeah.
what needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
anyway, that's, something. And again, if it's okay, I'm just going to give me a call at 434-229-8887. My name's Jonathan Mullins, and I'm with Central Virginia Financial Services. And we are an insurance company, or insurance agency that takes care of the people like yourself.
Yeah. Excellent. So there's two questions I ask every podcast guest that comes on. One is, how long have you been part of the CVABC?
I've been part of the CVABC. Oh gosh, Heather, we started back in 2010. And then I think we switched a little bit, and then I came back. So it's been quite a while.
Okay.
And I'll admit, the first part time I did it, I wasn't um, familiar with the value of what that was, and the second time around, it was just so exciting, and you couldn't have a better person in your corner than Heather and the people in that group.
Yeah, and a lot of times people think like, oh, I joined the CVABC, my business is going to see a huge benefit of it. I'm going to sit in my office and that's it.
Mm.
But no, you have to come to events like Coffee Talk. Woody. And he looked at me when I said Coffee Talk because he knew. You have to go, like, it's the membership gets you like connection to people and different things like that, and going to the events and being able to do ribbon cuttings, things like that, and even sponsorship and coming on the podcast, all sorts of things, billboards, all sorts of things. So after listing some of the benefits of the CVABC, which I accidentally just did, what do you think is the greatest benefit of being a member?
Well, I've utilized all of it, so it's kind of one of those things. I'm just kind of like, I think that it's all good, but I mean, to me, if I had to pick one, and it's not a thing, but one aspect, it's the human aspect. I mean, Heather has always been there. I can always call her and say, Heather, I'm going through this, or I'm doing this. What do you think? And she can, because she knows everybody pretty much that's in the CVABC. She can always direct me and help me. I'll give you a really general. She had with this type of thing, and also, because it deals with real estate, and I also, I do home warranty insurance and that type of thing. I said, what can I do to get that out there? And one of the things that she had mentioned was doing the Lynchburg Realtor Association.
Yeah.
And now I am uh, a affiliate of the Lynchburg Retail Association.
Yay!
That's
I'm
good.
so glad.
Yeah. So what that does is I would never have thought to do that. I wouldn't. So I mean, in the experience, there's no replacement for experience. And, I know, I'm very thankful for everything, but it's the human interaction and the human, recommendation and the experience
Yeah.
that Heather brings to the table that really has helped me out, and given me, you know, hope for tomorrow.
Right. And that's one of the things I love about the CVABC. We have a lot of different businesses in the CVABC. You can get everything from beekeeping to bookkeeping. So you can steal that one if you want. That was a good one.
Yeah.
But there's a wide range of businesses, everything from healthcare to insurance to we've got one of our members makes their own honey. I don't think they're on as that business, but Josh Urban makes his own honey.
Well, we
'cause he
also
brought
have Bowers Bees and Honey.
We do. I knew
make
there was one.
Yeah, they make their own honey.
I knew.
We have Be Kind Farms as well.
We got Brothers and Sisters Lemonade. We've got all sorts of things.
We have death doulas. I mean,
Death
you
doulas.
name it, we've got it.
Yep.
But I do want to take a quick second before we move on to commercial, and also thank Jonathan because Jonathan has been a member for a very long time, but this year he's a first year sponsor of the Central Virginia Business Coalition. And, I've said it before, membership is great. Sponsorship helps us keep the doors open. And it's not all about, and what I love about my sponsors is this too. They're in it for, yes, their business and promotion, but so many of them though are in it because they appreciate what we do, and they know that in order for us to continue to help small businesses, that we need their support. And a lot of them just do it for the love of the organization as well, and that is so wonderful. And Jonathan is definitely one of those. And so again, thank you for that this year. And I just appreciate all your help as well, and being a part of the CVABC. So
yeah, I love that the CVABC supports business and that business supports the CVABC.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
we saw that in action this morning. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it was. But Jonathan's been great to have you on. So I think we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back for a minute with Mike. A new segment on Talk Local. I mean, it might just be today, but
yeah.
And I'm going to talk about one of our events that we have coming up that we talked about last week at
Perfect.
about this time.
And then we'll also be joined with Scott with Centra to talk about the Healthcare Heroes Parade coming up next week. So.
Excellent. Good tie-in.
All right.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care.
And speaking of Visiting Angels, Visiting Angels is having an advanced care planning workshop at their office at Linghorn Road on Tuesday, May 28th from 1, this says 1 to 2, but it's 1 to however long it takes. Advanced care planning is the process of thinking about discussing your wishes for future medical care, especially in situations where you may not be able to make decisions for yourself. This can involve talking to loved ones about your values and preferences, and it often includes creating legal documents called durable do not resuscitates, medical power of attorneys, living wills, and advanced directives. Advanced care planning can promote better communication between you, your doctor, and your family. By talking openly about your care, you can build trust and ensure that everyone is on the same page. So this event is going to be brought to you by Visiting Angels and the Nursing Post, which are the death doulas that Heather just referenced just a minute ago. So excited for that. If you don't have your advanced directives in place or you don't know what they are, please check this out. It's free. We'll have some snacks and things provided. Things like that, but it's going to be a great day.
That's so funny. The first part of that just sounded like your commercial, like you.
It did because the same person was reading it. So
Yeah. Wow,
um,
what a great commercial
yeah.
for this event.
Yeah.
No, but it is a very important event, so I highly encourage people to sign up
Yeah.
and attend. I know if you listen to last week's episode, you kind of can
I touched on
understand why we want you to attend.
Yeah, we had a client that didn't have anything in place, and the family member passed away, and they weren't even sure which funeral home she wanted to go to or anything like that. So it was heartbreaking to see firsthand, and even though I've kind of seen it secondhand from families that are just kind of like, well, we don't know what to do next. So I just wanted to try and make sure that in cooperation with the nursing post, we could kind of educate people and help them to make sure they have a plan in place.
Perfect. So you guys know I love a good parade. We host Bedford's Parade, Lynchburg's Christmas Parade. We host, all the fun parades. But I have actually been honored to help out with the event we're getting ready to chat about for 4 years now. And we have Scott here with us from Centra Health, and he's going to be talking to us about the upcoming fourth annual hospital parade that they are hosting. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you. So tell us a little bit more about the upcoming parade.
Yeah, absolutely. So our fourth annual hospital parade is a wonderful event organized by Centra to honor our dedicated healthcare workers. It's scheduled to take place on Wednesday, May 15th, which is next Wednesday, a week from today, during National Hospital Week. This year, we're celebrating the resilience and commitment of our healthcare heroes who have worked tirelessly to help our communities stay safe and be healthy.
So let's talk a little bit about what inspired Centra Health to organize this parade and get it started in our community.
Yeah, so Centra recognizes the invaluable contributions of healthcare workers, especially in light of recent global challenges. The parade serves as a way to express gratitude and appreciation for their unwavering dedication and sacrifices. And it's also an opportunity for the community to come together and show support for our healthcare professionals.
So I'm gonna touch really quick. Like if you do the math, it's 2024. This is the fourth annual, so you'll realize the first annual actually happened during COVID time, and that's kind of one of the things that was put together. And the first one was a little bit different than what's been in the past because you really, but it was to honor all those healthcare workers. They were working so hard and so many long hours and just putting in so much of their time. And when you guys called us about helping to get something off the ground that first year, I'm telling you, when I was driving by with my car, because it was like a reverse parade, the nurses are standing outside of the facilities and the parade's driving through, and it was just amazing. And I got tears in my eyes just seeing all these workers standing out there just being appreciated and loved on. And it was really awesome. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that. Like I think that was a great way to do that.
Yeah, our first year putting it together, we didn't know where to start, but connecting with Central Virginia Business Coalition and coming together with Nadine Blakely, one of our other sponsors. And like you just said, going through the parade, we thought it would just be a one-time parade, but we got great feedback from our staff, great community support as well. And so this is our fourth. We've continued it, and it's been a great success.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
So what are some of the festivities that you have planned for National Hospital Week?
Yeah, so for National Hospital Week, we have many exciting activities to honor healthcare workers. Alongside the parade, there will be various events such as a breakfast for the staff. Many of our executives will be rounding at all facilities, and they'll be giving out giveaways. We also have a picnic scheduled for each campus next week. So it's a week-long celebration dedicated to showcasing the vital role hospitals and healthcare workers play in our community.
That's awesome. And I know that you wouldn't be able to do this parade without sponsors and things like that. So who are some of the sponsors for the parade, and what role do they actually play in the parade?
Yes, so we have Nadine Blakely, of course, and Central Virginia Business Coalition, who are our main sponsors for this year's parade. Their support is instrumental in making the event possible. Many other sponsors from the community that we have is our local law enforcement. We have the fire department. This year, we also have Liberty University School of Nursing. We have their mascot, Sparky. We have Hillcats, Southpaw, their mascot. We have some radio stations, Spirit FM, WYYD. We also have the Lynchburg Corvette Club. and many other community vendors as well. And as of yesterday, we were up to 75 vendors for the Lynchburg Parade.
Love it.
Awesome. So how can, if a member of the community wants to get involved in supporting the hospital parade and National Hospital Week, what are some ways that we can do that?
So there's many ways. First off, they can attend the parade and participate in all the festivities for the parade, or simply just express their gratitude to healthcare workers through messages of and acts of kindness. Additionally, spreading awareness about the importance of National Hospital Week helps highlight the significance of our healthcare system.
Yeah, very cool. So, so I know that Visiting Angels has done this in the past. Is there a place that if there's a business like us that wants to participate where we need to go sign up?
Yeah, most definitely. So they can contact me, and my number is 434-200-4937, and I will send them an application or just give them some more information about the parade and where to line up and all the logistics.
Okay, excellent.
So, what message would you like to convey to, any of our listeners that are listening regarding the significance of honoring our healthcare workers?
So healthcare workers are the backbone of our society, especially during times of crisis. They work tirelessly to ensure the well-being of others, often at great personal sacrifice. It's crucial to recognize and appreciate their efforts, not just during National Hospital Week, but every day. And so their dedication and compassion deserve our utmost respect and support.
What, and we may have touched on this, but what day and what time does the parade kick off? And are they doing Lynchburg and Bedford this year as well? Or just Lynchburg this year?
So we have Lynchburg and Bedford.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Lynchburg we're going to do on Wednesday, May 15th, and that will start at 12 o'clock. It will go to the campuses of Lynchburg General as well as Virginia Baptist. If you're interested in the Lynchburg Parade, you can stand on the sidelines near the Cancer Center or in front of the Lynchburg General Hospital. And then we will also go to the campus of Virginia Baptist Hospital. This year we split up the parades just so that way the community can be at both events.
Love it.
And so the Bedford Parade will take place next Friday on the campus of Bedford Memorial Hospital, and that will start again at 12 p.m. as well.
Okay. Very cool. And so you can be a part of both parades now. I love that.
Yeah, that was always one of my, I won't say complaint. It was one of my, I was sad I couldn't do both.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So I'm happy that they're split up so that we, hopefully both parades will be bigger this year. So that'll be good.
Yeah, that's great. Great community support, and we're just very, very thankful for our community.
Well, I'm just going to give a quick testimony on, the importance of thanking your actually, I'm going to give it on two things, but your nurses and those that are in that healthcare field. So in the past 2 months, I have spent a lot of time at Lynchburg General Hospital and Virginia Baptist Hospital. My daughter recently had a baby 2 months ago.
Right.
And we were in Virginia Baptist. We were actually there for 4 days.
60,000 hours.
A majillion hours before she had that baby. But I will say, the staff that we worked with there, the nurses in the baby unit and the birthing unit and the mother baby units, were both wonderful. We had one of them, I can say, I did is it a Daisy Award?
A Daisy Award.
Yep. One of them, her name was Tammy. She was like her last nurse that she had, and she was fabulous. I even put in a Daisy for her because she was just phenomenal and really made Autumn feel a lot comfortable through the process. But
It's great.
So I feel like a lot of times you hear the bad, but you don't hear the good as much as you should.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know that the emergency rooms can be crowded, and we know that there are long wait times, but there are reasons for that. There are, things going on behind the scenes you don't know about.
Yeah.
And so then also, my father got admitted to the hospital over a month ago because he was there almost a month, for potential stroke or different things. And, he was there. We had to take him to ICU for a time. They didn't think he was going to make it at one point. Then he did, and now he's home and annoying me as best he can because that's what he does. But I love it. But it's because of the care. I will say, that he is probably still here with me today.
Yeah.
And so, and people make mistakes, things happen. But they are there hours, 12-hour shifts. My daughter's a CNA. I know how hard she works when she's in that facility, and they're hours upon hours away from their family, taking care of your family.
Right.
So, yeah, make sure you're you're showing love and
Yeah.
support.
And when we're talking about healthcare, let's also talk about caregivers. And I mean, not like visiting angel caregivers, but like family caregivers that you've got
Oh yeah,
that are
absolutely.
also working and things like that and trying to keep people, out of the hospital and healthy and things like that. So Visiting Angels actually partnered with Love Heals. And this morning we took 150 chocolate chip cookies to the Pearson Cancer Center.
Mm.
My dad's been a patient there for about 4.5 years. And we just wanted to give something back to Love Heals is all about taking care of the caregiver, and Visiting Angels, we love Centra and the Cancer Center. So we actually took 100. We worked with Kathleen with Centra, and they delivered 150 chocolate chip cookies to go to the people who were at the front desk, the people who, the RNs and the NPs and doctors and all sorts of things, as well as people getting treatment and the caregiver that comes with them. Because a lot of time people don't go to cancer treatments by themselves because a lot of times you're not able to drive home after. So a lot of times there's two people going to treatment every time, and it affects so many lives. So we just wanted a way to kind of give back to them and kind of show them some appreciation. So there are all sorts of things you can do as a community. And you may say, well, I'm just one person. What can I do? You know what? Just do something nice for a nurse. There's like Mission House Coffee does, where you can buy a cup ahead of time. Like what's the thing?
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Like go buy a cup of coffee and put it up for a nurse, and make sure that if they see someone in scrubs, they're trying to give that to them. So there are all sorts of things that you can do. You can send, a nice card, and, I'm sure, is there somewhere they can send cards to nurses? That's a great idea. Like, is that possible? Or
You can send those to the hospital, and then we would disperse those to different units.
just kind of take them to different nurses and things like that. So that's another way. So if you're just one person sitting there, you're like, well, I don't have it's not my budget. I just got renter's insurance for $10 to $20 a month. So I don't have as much as I did in my budget last month, but I'm more prepared. You can go to the dollar store and get a card and send it to the hospital and make a nurse's day. I'm sure that would make their day.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to say a big thank you to Scott, actually, because he's put a lot into this parade over the last 4 years. And I know, when they first kind of put this together, and we were kind of like, oh, I don't know how it's going to work and how it's going to go. But he was just so dedicated to it and so excited about it. And, that first year we had a great turnout, and it's grown. I think we've had a bigger turnout every single year. But a lot of it is Scott's hard work. Like he works really hard to put it together and get that information out. So thank you for doing that, because I think it's definitely something that I'm glad y'all continued with it, more than just that first year.
So Scott, we could safely say you could be the third person in this room to say that putting on a parade is a lot of work and hard work.
It's definitely a lot of work.
I don't think anyone understands how hard it is until they do it.
Right. And you learn every year. There's something new that you learn every year.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's very rewarding. And especially the first year, I thought it was just going to be a one-time parade and then we're done,
Right.
And of course, National Hospital Week continues every year, but we didn't know how much it would impact the healthcare staff for the parade. And just hearing that, and then also to Heather's point, this is one of our biggest parades. I mean, it's grown every year. We had 35, I think, our first year, and now we're at 75.
Right.
And the greatest advertisement is just word of mouth.
Right.
And so getting that out there, seeing the pictures, seeing how the community can impact and just make a difference is very, very important. But it's so rewarding as well.
Yeah. So we've participated in the parade since the first year. And usually we do the Visiting Angels wrap vehicle because it's nice and easy. We don't have to try and decorate or anything. But I'm amazed how many people I knew that worked at the hospital, because my Facebook inbox blows up. I saw you in the parade. Thanks for coming out. Like, it was great to see you and all this stuff. And like, it really, and that's just the people I know. Right. So I know that it has a great impact on the workers and really makes them feel like they are appreciated by the community, because I know, like, in a Centra being an employer, you can tell them they're doing a good job all day, but it's different when it comes from outside.
Exactly.
So it can make a big difference in someone's day.
We greatly appreciate it.
I know the first year we did it because it was COVID. My daughter was home, my younger one. So she loved it because I let her, she was hanging out the sunroof, and she got to be on the news because the news was covered it. She was just like, "Look, I'm on the news." I was like,
she's a shy little flower.
Yeah, she is not. She is 100% her mama's child. But
bless her heart.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week, and I love the fact that they're doing one in Lynchburg and one in Bedford. So and you can still sign up. That's what we were saying earlier. Make sure you register for it. If you can't get a hold of Scott, I have applications as well. You can send it to me, Heather at cvabc.org. I can very easily get you that application and send it over to Scott once you get it back to us. But we're looking forward to it and hoping for some great weather.
We are. And just to put this in, the lineup, if you're interested in being part of the parade, the lineup will start behind WOCT at 11:15 next Wednesday, May 15th. And then the parade will start promptly at 12 noon.
Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
And is it rain or shine?
It's rain or shine.
Rain or shine. There you go. I was getting ready to be funny and be like, and why can't it be downtown? No, I'm just kidding, but I'm not going to.
So I almost said that too, and I didn't want to get the glare from you. So
I get that question all the time.
maybe
Is the
next
rain
year.
Going back downtown?
I keep checking the weather. As of right now, we're looking great.
Looking good.
Right.
So perfect.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for coming in and sharing about it. I hope those listening, and it doesn't have to be, I think with
There's a
the
parade going
Christmas
by right
parade,
now.
yeah, parade's coming. Yeah. So with the Christmas parades, a lot of people think, oh, I got to make these big floats and fancy floats. This doesn't have to be that.
Nope.
It can be you in your vehicle. It can be you with a sign that you've put on the window that just says, thank you, nurses and healthcare workers and things like that. So it doesn't have to be, and there's no charge.
There's
correct?
not. It's all free.
It's all free.
Yeah.
So, get in there. It's not a long parade. It doesn't take a ton of your time. But it's going to mean something to somebody who sees it.
I do have one disclaimer though, because I always end up following a vehicle that decorated their vehicle and they did not secure the things very well, thinking they weren't going very far. When we go between the two hospitals, it's 35 miles an hour. Your stuff is going to fly off and hit my car. Ask me how I know. So, no, but I've had signs and everything else come off. So just make sure that you've got either a way to take it off quickly and then put it back on when you get to the slow down zone right there off Vermont Terrace. And you just want to keep that in mind as well when you're decorating. So you don't want all that hard work to be missed at the Baptist Hospital.
Yes, perfect. So thank you so much for joining both of our guests. Thank you both so much for being on today.
So one question we ask every guest that comes on, and Centra's been a part of CVABC probably 5 years. Does that sound right?
Yeah, at least. They've been sponsors of our organization now for a good 5 years.
Yeah. So we'll say been sponsors for 5 years.
Yeah.
What do you think is the greatest advantage or benefit of being a member of the CVABC for Centra?
Just the promotion of our organization and just the give back that we're receiving as well from the community.
Right.
It's just a great honor.
Yeah. Very cool. So,
Awesome.
yeah, it's a great organization. And if you want to find more information about that,
Oh, you switched it up on me today.
I caught you.
Yeah, go to cvabc.org.
Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.